I'll show you that.
Hiya, we're here today at the Tunnel Barn Winter Champs 2019-2020. The first round, which is one round each month from November to February. I won the event 2 years ago. Andy Bennett won the event last year. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've drew peg 20 on extension today, which is a good peg, potentially. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a great series. I think that it attracts all the best anglers. There's plenty of money to be won, and to be honest, in winter fishing there's not really many events like this, so for me it's like a bit of a travel, but it's like the best event around at the minute, so you've got to be in it to win it. I've got quite a simple match today because I've not really got any shallow water to fish to. I've got a pot at like 14 metres, I've got like a big bowl area, so it's basically just hope the fish are in the deep water. I'm going to have a quick look on bread to start with, but then I'm just going to concentrate on maggots in the deep water, long and then hopefully short later on, and it'll all go to plan and get plenty of bites.
Well, here for the first round of the Tunnel Barn League. I've travelled a long way down, not been fishing a huge amount myself lately with the weather and work commitments, but I've committed to this league that I look forward to each year. Tunnel Barn's a great winter venue, and hopefully it'll be some good fishing. It looks like we've had a bit of a break in the weather as well. Not as wet as it has been the last few weeks. So I've drawn on new 33, which I'm quite happy with actually. There's been some fish in the area around the bowl. On sort of 31 I think has been the boss peg on new pool in the last few weeks. But no, quite happy. I'm going to start off on bread over towards the reeds. I'm not really feeling it being a bread day today though, so I can see myself swapping over to pellets to catch some stockies quite quickly. And then I'm going to feed some maggots down the middle towards the right to begin with, just to give me a gauge of when the fish start feeding. And once I feel as though I can feed my fish, I'm going to sort of feed a fairly positive line into the open water to my left, because that's where I think the bulk of my weight and the fish are going to come from. But with the temperature as it is, it's cold enough for the fish not to eat, but warm enough that they're still swimming and backing off. So I don't want to feed them fish too early and risk pushing them out the peg basically. So that's the plan.
Right, well I've drawn peg 6 on you, which I live on you. Every time you did, I'm on it, which to be honest I'm quite happy with. I drew 6 in first day of the Masters this year, so it's always got a few fish. 7's always a good peg. I got lucky as usual and peg 10 hasn't been drawn, which I don't know how that's going to be, whether the space is going to be a bad thing or not, but I'm going to keep things dead simple. I'm going to fish pellets across the start just to see what happens. I'm going to give it an hour on pellets, and then I think it's going to be good, so I'm just going to fish maggots in 3 and 4 foot and maybe short later on if they have a little feed. But yeah, dead simple, dead standard F1 match.
First round today, and I've drawn peg 25 on house. Not an ideal draw to be honest. We're split over new, house and extension. Loads of room today on this competition. One thing I will say is it's 12 pegs section, so I think today damage limitation. The lake is really, really clear, so I don't know how it's going to fish. One saving grace is I've got the wind off my back, but got some really, really good anglers on some good pegs. Matty Dawes is on the down wall, where he won the match from the left last round last year, I think. And then you've got Andy Bennett on 29, 6, really, really good peg as well. So up against it, but you never know with this place. There's fish everywhere, so fingers crossed for a little bit of luck today.
£35.9.
As you know, folks, we wouldn't have a Tunnel Barn Farm Winter Championship without the sponsors that generously get behind it every year. And one company that supported the event for the last 2 years is Mozilla UK. Today, I want to talk a little bit about some products that I've used for the past 12 months and I've been really impressed with. Now, those who watched the coverage of last year's event will remember I was given a set of the Mozilla EVA luggage and I've used that all year in my own fishing, and as I said, it's been absolutely fantastic. I think the true test of the quality of a luggage only comes after a period of time, because things like zips or material wearing, straps breaking, that sort of thing, are all problems that seem to occur on less well-made products. But let me tell you, I've had no such trouble with any of the products in this range. First thing to say, the system's designed to stack on a trolley system. It's called the trolley bag, and as you can see, these are great building blocks, so when you load them onto a barrow, you can get to your peg nice and easily, and it does that function absolutely perfectly. I fish a lot of natural venues where you're required to walk an awful long way, and the load on my hot box trolley just fine, and off I go. Onto the luggage itself, I use the bait weighter set, as you can see here, the EVA bait set. That's brilliant. Mixing bowls, dead handy for ground bait of different kinds, and obviously the smaller tubs there act as bait tubs. And the nice thing with all this lot, you can just zip it up if you want to at the end of a session, if you're going somewhere the next day or fishing that evening, as I do sometimes in summer. You can just zip it up, all your bait stays in place, and there's no need for keeping endless lids everywhere that you have to obviously stop blowing away in the wind. It's a really clever idea. It all fits together, and there's loads of things you can do with this system. Really, really adaptable. I just want to show you another use I found for the longer tubs in the range. I use the longer tubs like this one for storing wagglers, and because they're rigid, obviously they do offer some protection to floats, so another great use for the system. And the fact that they've got a clear lid, obviously you can see exactly what's in them all the time. Inside the trolley bag, I've got two bigger parts. This one, let's turn it round for you. In there, I've got obviously my chopped worm scissors, my pots, a little bit of contraband EVA on there, in there. Sorry, Vic, but the Mozilla tubs, the Guru tubs also fit in the EVA luggage as well, so I do use the odd one of those just to interchange. Great for transporting bits and bobs like that you need. In this one down here, I've got my catapults, for example, my sunglasses. Let's get it out of there. Catapults and sunglasses and all that kind of thing. As you can see, I'm showing you this exactly as I use it. There's been no tidying up gone on before this. It's a genuine snapshot of how I use the system and how it suits my fishing dead effectively. The two smaller bags, the roller bag speaks for itself. Two pole rollers in there, the Mozilla pole rollers. I'll cover those in a separate video and tell you how impressed I've been with those. And finally, my seat box, like a lot of seat box systems really, has lots of attachments that clip onto it and allow you to do different things. The hot box, as I've said before, is dead adaptable, and this is perfect for storing all the feeder arms, the bait extensions, the bait arms, pole roost, pole socks, all that sort of thing, sitting there dead securely. And as I said, the zips are all working absolutely brilliantly, as good as they did when I first got them. Carrier handles, as you can see, still in place. Yes, the system's mucky. I'm an angler who goes fishing a lot, but it'll easily wipe clean. And 12 months down the line, it's as functional as it was when I first bought it. Another of the Tunnel Barn Farm Winter Championships key sponsors is Cresta. And one of their products that I've been using quite a lot for the last few years now is the Cresta Split Shot Tool, which in essence is a really good quality pair of shot pliers. Now, this is something I think a lot of anglers neglect to think about. I hear a lot of people talking about how poor quality certain brands of shot, or some people say they can't get any brands of shot that they can get on with. But unless you're using a good quality pair of pliers to put your shot on your line, I honestly think you're missing a trick, as this is just as important as the quality of shot that you use. And there's two key characteristics, I believe, make these a great piece of kit for this reason. And one is the flat edge of the plier. They're not serrated or corrugated like maybe a pair of grips would be, or forceps. And that means when you're applying pressure to the shot, it's evenly distributed and the shot grips onto the line really, really nicely. And the second thing I think is important is the size of these pliers. Obviously, they're nice and small. And what that means, because the handle's relatively short, you know exactly how much pressure you're putting on the shot as you squeeze it onto the line. I think the danger with bigger players sometimes is that you squeeze the shot too hard and it grips on the line. Because obviously, the longer the handle, the more the force that you apply is multiplied. Obviously, you can see these have stood the test of time. As I said, I must have had these 3 years now. It's a wonder, to be honest, I haven't dropped them in a river or a lake and lost them, because few things last that long in my box, but these certainly have. Brilliant piece of kit, as good now as they were when I first bought them. As I said, the pliers themselves, really nice quality. And there's also a pair of snippers on the bottom there, which you can use for line or braid. All in all, a brilliant piece of kit from Cresta. Right lads, good presentation. A few people have had to nip off. I'll start with them. 3 section winners. Callum Dix, he got 66.2 from Extension. Jamie Hughes and Lee Thornton from Newpool with £50 9 and £45 respectively. On to the ones who are here. Section winner from Extension 25 with £50 1, Mikey Williams. Couple of defaults on this one. 46.15 from House 33. Sam Collett. Another bit of default action, yes. House Pool 16, Matt Dawes. Third overall now, we get 200 quid from peg 6 on House Pool with 71.5, Scott Bond. Second overall, 250 quid, he's weighed 77.3 from House 29, Andy Bennett. And today's winner and the early league leader, got a weight of 87.6 from House Pool 13, picking up 300 quid, Matty Bingham. Well, here we are with the match winner and early league leader, Matt Bingham. Matt, a bit of deja vu today from last year.
Yes, mate, yeah. It's been brilliant.
What weight did you have last year?
I think it was £98 last year.
So obviously you won the first round on that one as well. Today, £87.6, the perfect start to the league for you. Just talk us through how you've caught.
Yeah, I've had a lovely day, mate. Started short on maggots and had one straight away within about 5 minutes. But it weren't right, they weren't really feeding early on. So I fished to the island 18 metres on bread and had 12 in the first hour, 10 F1s and 2 carp. And then I noticed Matty and Andy were started catching a few feed in. So I just did the same. I changed, fished 14.5 metres on 2 lines on maggots. Just picked a few stockies off. It weren't nothing mad or anything like that for like 3 hours. Chuck some maggots short, and last hour was silly. Just won a chuck short last hour. It was just nice. It was a nice day. Nice typical winter match.
You say a typical winter match, Matt, but it sort of strikes me. You mentioned those middle 3 hours where you've managed to keep something going and that keeps ticking over. That's so important, isn't it? Because at the end, it's been quite tight.
It has been close at the end, yeah.
Obviously, Andy Bennett's pushed you. He's had £78, isn't he?
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've had 87.6. Just talk us through your rigs and feeding then on that short line for the last sort of hour.
So I don't. For the short line, I don't normally feed it till with an hour and a half to go, and then just feed like 20 maggots twice for half an hour. Then with an hour to go straight on it with a little pot and sprinkle 20 maggots, and just go from there. And then once you've hooked one, chuck your maggots in, play your fish, get it in, just repeat the process. Just sprinkle your bait in, just like trying to keep it tight, but when you caught your fish, feed your maggots just to make a bit of noise and just to keep them there.
I'm always interested. What's the theory between the throwing then? I mean, obviously you throw in to bring them on the line sort of in the 4th hour, but then when you actually go on it, you pot it. Yeah,
just to try and keep it around your hook bait, because when you're chucking your maggots, if you're cold and you're shaking all over the place, you can't really feed it properly. But when you've got a pot on, you can keep it nice and neat and tidy, just to try and get them around your hook bait. That's all I try to do.
I mean, the weights today have been very good on the whole. Obviously, an £80 your weight, £270, £60 weight. What are your thoughts on how the league's going to pan out this year? You think it'll be similar to last year, or do you think as it drops colder it might be a bit patchier?
I think it'll be quite patchy. I don't think you'll need maximum points. I think it'll be quite hard because obviously if you draw 4 bungholes, you're gonna do all right because like if you draw like the pegs I've had today, there's a lot of fish you can catch bred.
I think you're being quite modest there now. I don't think you've been on a great peg historically there.
No,
really.
but there's been some fish. There's obviously been some fish there in the wind coming in as well. But you've obviously got to draw, ain't you? It's winter, ain't it? You've got to draw an half decent peg. There's been some areas today that have been really hard. Yeah, just there's been some good anglers in some poor areas, and if they can't catch fish in them areas, then nobody can they? So.
No, it's been a really interesting battle. A great league. Obviously, we're paying the top 6 overall, £500 for 6, up to a first prize of $2,500. You're a hot favourite for that at the minute.
Yeah.
So we'll see you on the next round.
Thank you, mate.